Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boyce, just come to you with some Masters League Magnificence out of the map Antigua Shipyard L East. By down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we do a VIN as the red Protoss, and up here in the top left-hand corner, we do a VSP as the blue Terran. And, you know, if you noticed me kind of struggling with the title of this video, it's because I didn't know what to call it, because it's kind of like in the middle of games that I would normally call it, and it's actually from a player who recently sent me in quite a few minigame madness, but this is like the only one that doesn't fit into that kind of minigame category of like 7-8 minutes. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit interesting, because as far as I know, they are a cheeser and a half. That's what they've done in every other video I've ever cast them in, and I think it's going to be kind of funny, because this game is rather long for them, and it's going to be entertaining, to say the least. I haven't watched it yet, but I feel like it's going to be great. They're even sending out a reasonably early probe scouters right after their pylon. Usually people send out like 12 probe scouts, and that's pretty standard. I guess on a map like this, I can see you sending out one earlier just because Antigua Shipyard, none of the spawns are actually prevented, so you can spawn in any formation as opposed to your opponent. You can spawn basically anywhere on the map. There's no like cross position or close positions or anything like that that are blocked on the latter edition. At the very least, various tournaments have various map forms that block mostly close spawns, and they force cross spawns because that's just a much more entertaining way for games to roll out. However, on ladder play, Blizzard doesn't care, so they're just going to have you spawn wherever. We have both of our players currently built. Oh, yep, there's the forge. Okay, yep. All right, well, there's going to be a nice little cannon rush. We even have the double probe scout heading out, with this probe moving into the main base of VSP at this point, with the other probe just moving up into the corner of the map. And it looks like ViN's going to get a reasonable scout out, and there is an SCV tagging along. And oh, there's the pylons. Oh, I don't know why he's dropping these pylons in such random positions, but they are. Those are randomly positioned pylons. They really don't. Oh, VSP, are you going to let those pylons... What are you doing? Oh my god, VSP is letting the pylons finish. Does he know that that is a horrible strategy? Oh, the probe. The probe. There is another pylon going down, and a photon cannon, and a pylon, and oh my god, it is happening. This is what's going down, people. It looks like we already have the float away by the orbital command. He is going to be moving directly to the natural, or reasonably, actually an extremely smart decision by our blue Terran player. We have another pylon going down in the natural for ViN, but I don't think this attack is actually going to do nearly the amount of damage that... Oh, so BM, the pylon getting blocking the natural. Oh, so annoying. And it looks like we have a supply depot now going down to the furious hits of this photon cannon. And oh, the probe almost got there to drop another pylon, which would have been hilarious. But we now have a pylon going down behind the base, and it looks like he's running away a little bit. The pylon is getting chipped away by that Marine, and then is just so annoying. Now, little does he know that VSP can actually just float to the third base. I mean, ViN's kind of wasting a lot of money here, and as soon as these Marines start hitting a critical mass, which they should start doing soon, it's not going to matter how many pylons or how many probes or how many photon cannons he drops, because they're all going to be going down just as rapidly fast as he can drop them. And we do have a third Marine currently on the way, and he does have enough production to start spawning out 4 Marines at a time, and that's basically enough to fight off any amount of harassment with this. The photon cannon from ViN is now dropped, and he's going to be getting hit down. You should probably be targeting the photon cannon, and there we go. And there is the third Marine, and this is quite a bit of DPS to be dealing out these Protoss buildings that are under construction. Not sure if ViN's actually going to be able to do that much more damage with this attack. I mean, it's definitely going to be annoying, but I don't think that there's an actual, like, good amount of damage that can be done. This photon cannon is going to wrap up before the Marines can kill it, but they are just going to drop back, and then I'm sure they're going to be killing this pylon, or this photon cannon before it wraps up. Looks like we have another couple photon cannons on the way, but honestly, with 5 Marines here, I don't see too much damage going down, especially with this bunker forming up, because this bunker will definitely allow them to have enough range where they're going to be able to force off about anything. However, this photon cannon is already in range for the bunker, so he is going to need to charge the photon cannon. Oh, and this is a horrible position to be fighting into. Oh god, you should have just canceled the bunker and floated the barracks, because he does not want to be sacrificing so many freaking SCVs. Oh my god, what is he doing? Alright, so he's just killing off with 1 photon cannon. and then running away, and he's going to be hoping that this bunker is... Oh yeah, okay. Alright, now he's good. He's good. He's set. This is going to be enough damage. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be inside of range to kill these two photon cannons. ViN does not know how to stop this. We do have a command center going down at the third base, so this is just way too interesting to even start missing. It looks like we are going to have attack ups, either Marauders or Reapers coming out. Both of those are very, very good units for killing structures, especially in this sort of position. And it looks like ViN is going to be losing that pylon. However, not these two photon cannons, and those are the important things. Really should have been targeting down those photon cannons while they were building. There are now 4 Marines, 3 Marines out, and that is all the harassment that this base can handle. And it looks like we do have the float away by the orbital command, and that's basically going to be the end of a push from zone, because there's no way he can push up into this, especially with the bunker already completed. And it looks like the Marauder is now out, and that actually does have a whole lot of range to be smacking down on these pylons. And it looks like we do have the runaway from VSP, as he is going to be going to the third base, or the secondary third base, I guess you could call it. And also to the third base, that, you know, the primary third base. And it looks like this base might actually be able to get up. It's going to still be a little bit on the awkward side, of course, because that's kind of just how this game is going to roll out. However, I think he'll be able to manage this. ViN is, of course, doing his best. He has 106 supply. But, you know, that's okay. It looks like we have photon cannons going down at the gold base. Because, you know, when it works, why would you stop? I mean, fuck it. Just keep building photon cannons, because screw it, you're Protoss. That's what you do. And I'm very surprised that VSP actually hasn't gotten enough scouting information to stop this photon cannon from coming up, because that is not a good spot where he wants a photon cannon to be coming up into. He does not have information on the fact that the probe is there, but honestly, you should be checking everywhere, because this is what the game is. This is what is going to happen the entire freaking time. And really, I'm surprised that ViN hasn't started to like buckle out and start creating photon cannons around this area, because that would seriously prevent the move out from any of these units, and it would be serious harassment. It looks like this orbital command just cannot find a spot to rest. ViN has been dropping photon cannons everywhere, and it looks like actually this orbital command might also be going down, because he does not have the information on this yet. I think he might have just started seeing it, and in fact he did, but it's going to be a little bit on the rough side. This Marauder should be able to snipe off the photon cannon at the very least before it comes up, but the other photon cannon is going to prevent anything from going down at this base. And there is actually a reasonably placed thing. I think if a Marauder gets into this bunker, it does have the range to hit this photon cannon, but I'm not quite sure. And honestly, he might just go for the bust here, because he can probably destroy this photon cannon before more than one Marine dies, unless both of the weak Marines get targeted down. And really, he could just pull them out of this group and be perfectly fine. We have Zealots now starting to come up for our red Protons player. 2 Zealots at a time. Is there a warp gate on the way? Warp gate actually just started, which is a little bit on the awkward side, but you know, it'll work, it'll happen. And it looks like with the bunker, we do have quite a few pylons going down at this point. I'm actually, oh, maybe they're not in range of this photon cannon quite yet, but if he uses these Marauders to tank it, here comes the bust, and yes, that photon cannon is definitely going to go down, and it's not actually going to get killed. It's going to get reasonably close, but this Marauder is going to manage to stay alive, and there goes another pylon, and finally the primary harassing probe, I think. Yeah, that was the primary harassing probe. That was the guy with all of the big plans and all of the big kills and all the important stuff. And it looks like we now have the move out across the map by VSP, and I'm really not sure if ViN is going to have any sort of defenses to really protect himself against this, because he's committed so much money and energy into these photon cannons, and now with this just small bio ball, we have VSP coming back with enough of an army to just start crushing through all of these tiny little bases, little outposts, I would say, that VSP or that ViN has been creating all across the map. Now, of course, ViN is building up his natural, and he is getting photon cannons there, but VSP has already expanded. He probably is getting prepped-ish to expand again. I would be surprised if he wasn't. And it looks like with these sentries, VSP is not even going to risk getting up into that base. Probably a very reasonable plan. He should just wait it off because he is reasonably ahead right now as far as econ goes and as far as army goes. And really, if he can just maintain this lead and maybe wait for medevacs, he should be perfectly fine. It looks like we have charge currently on the way for ViN, which is a reasonably strong upgrade, and there is already +1 attack, and there is +1 armor on the way, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but we do have starports currently creating for VSP, and with those starports, he should be able to take out any of these bases reasonably easy because he will have the medevacs. And this chair is awkwardly squeaky today, and it's kind of driving me crazy because I have OCD and I know it's kind of a little bit annoying. It looks like we have VSP thinking about pushing back into his main base, but that's not a great idea. And it looks, I just heard some zealots, and they're actually in the main base. They're harassing the production lines, and it looks like a marine that does go down as his corpse is just kind of drying off when it first panned up here. It looks like ViN is now moving out across the center of the map. He does have charge, which makes him a much more dangerous opponent, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for him to really be able to clean this up. It's going to be kind of awkwardly close. It's really going to come down to the force fields in this next engagement because, you know, VSP, again, he has a much stronger and larger army, but he does not have the advantage as far as tech or as far as research goes, and honestly, sentries are very good at turning the tide of a fight, and zealots are very good at killing stuff that can't run away. And since he does not currently have steam packs, or stim packs, not steam packs, I'm crazy, you know, there's not going to be a whole lot of options this giant bioforce is going to have as far as running goes. It looks like we now have siege tanks starting to form up, and siege mode is about to be finished along with the first medevac. But we do have the move out, and this is a really awful time for VSP to be trying to clean up any sort of photon cannons, because that severely weakens his army. However, we now have the SCV moving out to the front, and it is going to scout out this giant army coming through, and the siege is not there, and oh my god, the charge absolutely smashes its way through, and yeah, he really should have just been sieged up. There was almost no point, there's almost no reason to not have this. Now, of course, as this entire thing was going down, there was some harassment that happened here and forced the base back. But, you know, that's all good. It looks like we have the repair attempts to go down, but a beautiful force field is going to stop any amount of SCVs from reaching that bunker. And, yep, that's going to be GG. And, wow, that was really well played by ViN, especially after that huge amount of harassment in the early game. I really thought that they were further behind because they were getting, I mean, that harassment didn't do too much damage. I mean, it prevented a whole lot of mining time, but I'm pretty sure it was still cost inefficient. The really big thing was just getting those upgrades from that early forge and then switching into this kind of charge lot zealot force, which is very good at stomping any sort of bioforce that hasn't had the time to really tech up. So very well played by ViN, very well done. Congratulations on the win. And also, if you guys would like your games commentated, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. And if you would like to watch any other games I've commentated, you can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and this is Boisterous signing out.